Okay, with Seattle joining the league in 2021, I honestly believe this could be one of the reasons why the NHL was more willing to compromise with the NHLPA over escrow and a few of their other players' grievances, such as Olympic participation. That's another interesting one that doesn't get talked about as much as I think it should, because when the players weren't allowed to go to the last Olympics in Korea, several key players like Ovechkin and Eric Carlson were very, very vocal about their unhappiness with the fact that they weren't allowed to participate at the Olympics. They were very, very open in their dissatisfaction with not being given the opportunity to represent their country in an international tournament. That is some sticking points. Escrow, I've done a video on it. It's a very big sticking point. It's not a tax, but some players see it as a tax because of the locations they play in. It hammers the lower paid end of the NHL roster. Because it's taking anywhere between I think 10 and 16%, depending on the year, of a salary goes into escrow. They may not get all that salary back. Some years it's as low as 2-3%. So it's an extra fee on top of their tax rate that they already pay, and players are very unhappy with it. On the NHL side of things, they obviously $650 million in expansion fees is a big reason why you do not want a strike or a lockout to occur. There could be a debate about sharing some of those expansion fees with the players, but that's not high on their list of priorities right now. The more players now playing in the NHL than ever before because of Vegas joining, bigger player pool, players that otherwise wouldn't have that opportunity, that would otherwise be stuck in the AHL, the European leagues, are also getting an opportunity to play in the NHL. And so the players have more opportunity now to compete for roster spots. Another team joining, that's a whole squad, a whole roster to fill. That's a new affiliate. It's going to increase the player depth. It may spread the quality out across the league, but we have to look at the success that Vegas had, and the NHL can see that the expansion rules are going to be exactly the same. Vegas are protected from the expansion draft, so they're going to give Seattle the same opportunity that Vegas have had to have a strong, healthy start to their existence. Vegas obviously surprised some people, but $500 million injected into the league cannot deny that they're losing money. They're making a lot of money. They're making more money than they ever have, and the players also are getting paid more than they ever have. The NHL, I think, while it's also a position of strength, the growth of the game, they have to be concerned about possibly turning off new fans, TV deals as well. They want to get a better TV deals package with the media holders in Canada and the US and the media rights and overseas. We've seen their intent to take games to Europe. We've seen the NHL take games to China. So there's a lot to discuss in this collective bargaining agreement opt-out phase. But we know the players and the NHLPA have been discussing with the league. But I think Seattle joining could be one of the reasons that tips the balance against a lockout. I think the players want to play. A lot of players will have the opportunity to join the NHL that otherwise would be stuck in the AHL. And so there's a more chance for unknown talents to get exposure, more roster spots. It's going to make the league even more competitive because you want to keep hold of your talented players. It's going to spread the talent more evenly across the league. We've seen that the salary cap is slightly lower this year. That's another talking point. But the big issue for the players is not expansion. The big issue for the players is escrow. The NHL, I think, will be willing to give some ground on escrow because they've got Seattle joining, and they do not want to risk the potential to turn off fans that want to buy into Seattle if they have a whole season or part of a season lost. It makes the league look... It makes the players look greedy. It makes the club, the teams, the franchises look greedy, and that's a really bad PR look right now, especially with the Seattle market, which is a more progressive market, let's say, on outlook to economics. It has had ice hockey teams before in the minor leagues, in the junior leagues. It will have a natural rivalry with Vancouver. It will inject something new into the Pacific Division and the Western Conference, and ultimately it makes fixturing a bit easier for a 32-team league. And that's a lot more money to be injected into the league as well. Potential sales, potential new TV market. Seattle, I think, is a sports-mad city, and I think the NHL would be wary to risk the potential success that is there. We've seen what's happened with Vegas and how successful they have been, and whether you like Vegas or not, it has brought some new interest into the sport, bigger viewership, more money, and players enjoy playing there. It's a different atmosphere. It's shaking things up a bit for the better. The NHLPA, I I think they are in a strong position. They've got more members than they ever have before, and I think the league will be willing to concede or amend escrow. That's the talking point. I think the players obviously want changes there. That's their main cause of concern. High-profile players like Taves and Tavares have come out in their criticism of the current escrow system. I think it needs to be a bit more balanced towards a 50-50 between the teams and the players when it comes to payouts. That's the sticking point. But overall, I think the product we have on the ice is pretty good. It's probably more skilled players than ever before, faster game than ever before. Goal scoring's going back up. Attendances are up in several locations that were struggling before Vegas joined the league. Carolina and Arizona have had their attendances go up these last season and a half, 2 seasons. We've seen, greater TV numbers in the US for the playoffs. Bear in mind they've got to compete with the NBA. So there are some positive signs of growth that the NHL, I think, would be cautious not to risk at this stage. But we've still got 2.5 months till the opt-out clause can be invoked by the NHLPA. But the fact they've been going into discussions in good faith and the players have been very, very open about what their concerns are. Escrow's the top of the list. It's to do with money. Escrow is a sticking point, but I think Seattle joining means the NHL is in a position of strength, but also a position of weakness because they are risking the potential market that is Seattle and of course all the new fans that brought in with Vegas. But there we go. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Place your comments below. I know this is on my mobile phone. I'm not actually at home right now. I'm at my friend's house and I'm away from the laptop, which is a bit annoying, but I gotta try out my new phone, my new camera, and it's going to be interesting to see what actually happens. Obviously, free agency is another big thing that's happening tomorrow. So NHL free agency is going to be interesting, and again with the salary cap being lower, it's going to be interesting to see how teams react to that, and that's another thing on the discussion table with these CBA discussions. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Place your comments below, and I'll have some more videos for you very, very soon.